Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Roadblock review. So this pay-per-view, a special event. It wasn't the worst, but, it wasn't exactly exciting as could be. Or, I was expecting a little bit more from Roadblock, but they kind of disappointed me on a lot of levels. New Day defeated the League of Nations, as expected. You didn't really expect this match to be fantastic. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't blowing my fucking mind, but I'll tell you this much. It wasn't the worst. It was a little bit better than I expected it to be. It wasn't a fucking nightmare. I don't really get why they're having these two teams go at it. Like, New Day is, I saw like with the pre-match promo with the cereal and everything, that they were kind of, making them a little bit more face because they were like, oh shit, they don't really seem a lot like baby faces here. They need to really start stepping it up, so they could be considered babyface champions. And I don't get why, the League of Nations of all people. This is such a random fucking faction. They threw them together at the last minute because they felt that, they didn't have enough tag teams, so they got to put the League of Nations in there. And I'm like, why? These guys should be singles wrestlers, first of all. I take a look at all these guys. Barrett, Sheamus, Rusev, Del Rio, and I basically see a bunch of guys with failed WWE careers. That's all it fucking is. These guys had failed fucking careers, and they put them together. You could say that they have the international flavor. That's the reason why they're called League of Nations. Absolutely. But the thing is here, the bigger story is that all these guys have failed fucking careers. This match wasn't terrible. I give it like 2 stars. I've seen a lot fucking worse, to be quite fucking honest. It really wasn't the worst match. I guess you could say it was okay for an opener. But we've seen a lot better tag matches. New Day this act is starting to get really fucking stale, to say the fucking least. To say that New Day hasn't, run its course would be a gigantic understatement. I mean, Big E was being funny before the match with his promo, but, seeing a guy of this size, Big E is like a fucking monster, and seeing him get down on his hands and knees and do a little boy voice like this is, what does this say about Big E? You think about when Big E came into the WWE, and shit like that, and how he's being portrayed now like a fucking goof. There's nothing wrong with a guy going against, how he normally looks to kind of throw you off. Like, oh, okay, this guy's a power lifter, but, he has a sense of humor. I don't really see a problem with that. But in wrestling, it kind of does go a little bit against fucking... I don't want to say tradition because that's kind of where we are now. They're getting back to more traditional fucking wrestling, which I'm not a big fan of. But, it's just these guys are annoying characters and not in a good way. They just act very childish. As I said, there's a way of being funny, and being sophomoric and shit like that without it just, going completely off the rails. And I think it's kind of gone off the rails with the fucking bootios. Come on. Jericho defeated Jack Swagger. This was advertised as a highlight reel, but he didn't even have his set. It was like a really cheap fucking highlight reel. Not even sure if it was a promo or a highlight reel, just a normal promo or not. And I can't even differentiate what's what in this company. We've got fucking problems. Swagger comes out, no reaction, random as fuck. Why would you use an American baby face to wrestle in Canada? I don't get where they're coming from here. Not a good fucking idea. Not like, it's because it's like he's the real American, but people were actually doing the We the People along with them, which was a little bit confusing. I don't understand why they were so behind Swagger here. I don't understand a lot of fucking things that go on in this fucking company and how the fans react to it. This match really wasn't that bad. It was a decent match, nothing to fucking lose your mind over. I give it another 2 stars. It wasn't terrible. I see a lot of people saying there was a lot of terrible matches on this card. I didn't really see anything too fucking overwhelmingly bad. It was okay. The match was about average. It was about what I expect from a Raw, not a pay-per-view. The Revival beat Enzo and Cass, Big Cass, Colin Cassidy, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Enzo and Cass, especially Enzo more so, he really oozes charisma. The guy has a fucking crazy look. He looks like a fucking mental patient. But, also the thing is that was a little bit disappointing is that the crowd didn't really know their whole shtick. Why? Because I don't understand why they think that everybody who watches Raw watches NXT. The only people who get to watch NXT is the network subscribers, and they might have only a little bit more than 1 million subscribers now. So, they take it upon themselves to just figure that, okay, everybody who watches NXT likes WWE because they just watch all our fucking shows. That's not the fucking case. So, they weren't as over as they were at NXT. But this was a pretty good fucking match, I have to say. There was a lot of good back and forth. I like the Revival. They are very old school, like the Andersons, like what they were compared to, like the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, they are a bit of a throwback. I think maybe we have a few too many throwback characters that remind us of the olden days, but these guys, they're a lot cooler than, a lot of other characters that they throw out there that are supposed to have this old school vibe. I like this match. I give it 3 stars. I was getting into this, the way how Cass throws around Enzo for the high flying moves. This was a good match. So like I said, I think people, no one's been more critical than the current product than me, but I don't think that this was really that bad. This was actually a good match that, I was actually looking forward to seeing, and it delivered for the most part. Charlotte defeated Natalya. I see people praising this match, and I really couldn't praise this match. I was kind of fucking bored during it. My attention was starting to wander. I mean, I am not digging Charlotte as the champ here. As NXT champion, as NXT Women's Champion, she did a great job. But as Divas champ, this shit is still watered down. And, just seeing Natalya there just devalued this match. Why, do they think that they could just bring these wrestlers out of nowhere that we haven't seen for months and just expect us to accept them as viable challengers for titles? It doesn't work that way. The same thing with Jericho and Swagger. You just roll out Swagger after 3 months of an absence and we're just supposed to accept this? No. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to accept everything that you fucking throw at me. I don't accept all the slop that's thrown into my trough. It's not going to work. I give this match 1 3/4 stars, 1.5 maybe. 1 3/4. Let's go with 1.5. It was kind of fucking shitty, to say the fucking least. And the finish was pretty fucking lame. It looked like Charlotte had the sharpshooter on, and I am so sick of wrestlers getting to the ropes with submission finishers. Speaking of Jack Swagger, it was the same thing. The ankle lock is on. Wrestlers, Charlotte, how the hell is she crawling across the ring with a sharpshooter on? She's got her locked in dead center of the ring. This is the point when the wrestler should tap out. And if you don't want that to happen, don't have her do the move. This discredits the sharpshooter. How many times have we seen wrestlers apply sharpshooters? This was a move that was popularized by Bret Hart and Sting. This was a move that when it was locked on an opponent, they were usually tapping out in seconds. Now wrestlers are able to stay in it for 2-3 minutes. Fuck out of here. I ain't buying that fucking shit. As I said, wrestling is fake enough. They make it look even faker. You know, in the UFC, you get a fully applied submission and the guy's tapping out within the first fucking second. Brock Lesnar defeated Luke Harper. This match fucking pissed me off, and this is where I started agreeing with people that this fucking sucked. Brock Lesnar, it was actually Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. That's the way how they said this match was going to be. They come out with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt cuts a promo, and then they're like, oh, well, this means that it's going to be a handicap. Fuck out of here. I was told that it was going to be Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt. They're not giving us the match at Mania. I wanted that Mania. We're going to get it on Roadblock. You heard me in my preview. I was like, okay, we're going to get the match. At least we're fucking getting the match. But no, that wasn't the fucking case here. Instead of getting the match, we got Luke Harper in the ring with Bray Wyatt standing outside. That's not a fucking handicap match. That's Bray Wyatt acting as the fucking manager standing outside. He's the valet, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's not wrestling in the match. You can't advertise it as a handicap match when he's not technically in the match. He ain't even in the ring. He didn't touch Brock. Brock Lesnar disposes of Luke Harper in minutes. And, you know, the thing is here, at this moment, I was like, well, okay. So now they really seem like they're building up towards Brock and Bray. They didn't bother building it up, you know, leading up to Roadblock. You know, they showed us what happened at the Rumble. I'm like, well, it's about time. It's been 2 fucking months, and we haven't seen any build up for this match. We haven't seen anything. You know, we just thought they forgot about it. You know, and then we saw that they're, you know, they kept on saying there could be a change of plans for Mania. You know, if Dean Ambrose wins the title, there could be a change of plans. And I was starting to really think that maybe Dean Ambrose had a chance. So, but boy was I wrong. Stardust defeated Sami Zayn defeated Stardust. I was about to say that because the thing was, it kind of looked like Stardust was going to beat Sami Zayn. They put these guys out there to wrestle, and Jesus fucking Christ, what a fucking train wreck this was. You know, Sami Zayn, he's only wrestled one other... Well, I remember they did a little bit of like NXT promotion for a Fatal 4-Way or something like that. I think he might have wrestled on Raw, but I don't know. He only had one major appearance on Raw, and that was against Cena. They talked about that. And here Stardust is beating the shit out of Sami Zayn. He's dominating him. He's got him in rest holds. The match is going well over 10 minutes. Sami Zayn gets the haluva kick and it's over at the end. And I'm like, who the fuck, who organized this match? Sami Zayn is going to go head to head with Kevin Owens at Mania. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's going to happen. If you're going to do that and you're going to wrestle a dominant guy like Kevin Owens, don't have him get dominated by Stardust. Are you fucking serious? Stardust ain't even on Raw half the time. You know, Sami Zayn, this should have been a squash match or something like that. You know, why did they think this was a good idea? Why Sami Zayn, if he's going to have a chance at the Intercontinental title? This is a guy that Kevin Owens would dominate Stardust. How does it look that Sami Zayn is having big problems defeating Stardust? How is he going to beat a guy that once beat Cena clean? I mean, think about that for a minute. The way this match was laid out, it was so fucking boring. You would think they would have shown more of Sami Zayn's like high-flying offense. They would have shown some more of what Sami Zayn could do to get you hyped up for Mania. Because the thing is, unless you've watched NXT, you don't know shit about Sami Zayn. And the thing is, they've given you no reason. For God's sakes, you know, NXT, it's like not that many people really watch it. Not even everybody who has the net. I don't even watch it on a weekly basis. As I said, it's too much fucking wrestling. I can't, justify watching another wrestling program on the regular when Raw is 3 hours. I used to, but it's too fucking much. Anyway, in the main event, you had Triple H defeating Dean Ambrose, and I thought there for a minute that maybe Dean Ambrose, because of what happened with Bray and Brock, the way how Bray was backing away. I don't know. I want to sort of think, they said that Dean Ambrose's constellation prize, or however the fuck you say it, the prize is that he gets to face Lesnar at Mania. But, the way how they did with Bray backing away from Brock, it looks like they should just make it a fucking triple threat. Just have Dean Ambrose, Triple H, and Roman Reigns in there, and just make it Brock against Bray. For God fucking sakes already. Just give us that match. Triple H, he looked fucking old in this match. He looked fucking slow as shit. It was a rest holds aplenty. It was at a fucking snail's pace. I was dozing off during portions of this match. It picked up a little bit at the end. Dean Ambrose missed an elbow drop through the announce table. It looks like he's about to get counted out. He dives back in the ring, and the minute he dives back in the ring, Triple H hits the pedigree. I'm thinking maybe he'll kick out, but no. No kick out, no nothing like that at all. Instead, it was just a disappointing fucking match. It was a slow match. It was a boring fucking match. If I had to rate it 2 1/4 stars, there were some points in this match with like Dean Ambrose's offense that were a little bit more exciting, but for the most part, this match was pretty fucking boring. Pretty goddamn fucking boring, to say the least. I was expecting more from this match. And I just realized that I forgot I was going off on such a rant. Brock and Luke Harper, I give it like a 1/4 star. Is it even worth rating? Sami Zayn and Stardust, this match was, I give it a 1/2 star. It was boring. Yeah, so 2 1/4 stars for Ambrose and Triple H. This overall, this pay-per-view was just so fucking average. It wasn't the most terrible thing I've ever seen. I give it like a 4.5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I liked Enzo and Cass's match against the Revival, and there were a couple of matches that weren't awful, but it's like a 5 out of 10, motherfuckers. This really wasn't worth doing. They could have, one good match on the card. They could have done so much better than this. And Dean Ambrose and Triple H, the match was over 20 fucking minutes. That was way too fucking long for this fucking match. Triple H looked like he was about to fucking collapse. For God fucking sakes. Alright, motherfuckers. I'll see you for the Raw review.